Ready to roll. Um, Really disappointed with our performance yesterday, from top on down. I thought I didn't do a good job in this game getting our guys right for it. We came out on the wrong end of it right from the start, both offense and defense. Defense was able to right itself as we got through it and made good adjustments and played really well throughout the last 3 quarters of the game. Offense couldn't get going. We couldn't get nail it, and I don't feel like we adjusted the way we wanted to and the way we need to as we look at it. And I'm not going into all that, but I'm just telling you that we didn't do a good enough job. And 3 turnovers and 6 sacks and no third downs, and it's really hard to win. Obviously, that's exactly what we saw. So it was a tough day, and I don't think that this is a trend or this is a turn in the wrong direction or any of that kind of stuff. I think we had a bad day outing, and we're going to get right this week, and we'll get back at it. And real obvious the things that we want to do to kind of get back on track, and so we're going to go about it in that fashion and get back to business.
That idea.
I know that's not enough for you guys. You want a whole lot more. That's where I'm going with it.
That idea of it not being a trend, it seemed like all the players were kind of already in that mode. When do you decide from when the game's over to when you address them what you kind of want the message to be post-game?
Sometimes it's clear, and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I wait till the next day and all that. But I thought it was really clear that we were just clearly off. And we've played what was this game 11 for us? Is that what that was? Game 11. I think this was the first time we've really felt like that. And so I'm going to go with what we know and how we know to be, and we'll get this thing fixed and get back on track. And so I communicated that last night.
Every team around the league has these games, no matter how good of a season they might have. Is it just kind of a reminder how difficult it can be week to week to be?
Well, certainly that. I mean, it's we've been reminded in games that we've won how difficult it is to win too. Tampa Bay played really well. They played a really clean football game. When you look at them, if you want to take in account what they did last week against Kansas City on the road against a good Kansas City team, this was an extension of that game. They played really solid football and held on to in a tight game and were able to maintain, to hold on to win. And they did it again with us. They had that lead early, and we any play in there, we jump right back in the thing. We just couldn't quite get it done, and you got to give them a lot of credit. I think they are playing good football, and I was really impressed again with the quarterback and the receiver and Doug Martin, and their whole attack was on point, and they did a nice job to get out of there with a win.
The idea of being off, I mean, is there something, do you notice that early in the game, or is there something in pregame? Did you feel that, or you going the whole game?
It didn't take very long in this one. They went right down the field with the ball, and we were punting at about 4th and 15 or something, in the first time, and then they went down the field again, and we didn't get much. We got a couple first downs, then we give them the ball back, and so it just never didn't get started right, and you could just feel it. When somebody runs the ball at us like that early in the game, we're not right, and so. But much to the credit of the players and the coaches, the defensive guys got back on it and got back to playing representative football. If I'd told you we're going to give up 14 points, I would have thought that'd be a pretty darn good football game. But in this one, it wasn't good enough, and it's unfortunate.
Did Bradley Sowell play better than Gary Gilliam had been playing?
He played a lot of the games, so we got a good evaluation of him, and he did okay. He held up pretty well at the right side.
Was that the plan, or was that kind of a spur of the moment
Kind of
thing?
just happened that way.
How do you kind of view the tackles in totality at this point? You got Brad who can go back and forth to left and do both.
First off, Brad's back. Now that proved to us that he can play. Last week we thought we had a shot. He was close, couldn't do it. This week he's back playing. George had a hard time in this game. He had a harder time after last week playing really well. It was harder on him, and Spence gave him a good go during the game. So we'll see how it goes. Everybody needs to get better. We're all going to work at it, and it's good to know that we have everybody healthy there now.
What was different on the offensive line in this game versus the previous games when you weren't giving up so many sacks?
We didn't. We went into the game knowing that they're a team that ran a lot of games, and we didn't pick them up right from the start, and we had trouble, and they just kept rushing their normal stuff. I think we got more rush out of there on the left side, on Georgia's side with Spence than we thought we would. Gerald McCoy was fantastic in the game. He was really a handful and did a great job of run game and pass game. just pushing the pocket and all. And so it was just a combination of things. We didn't do the things we went into the game thinking were necessary. That was pick up their games, get the football out. I really feel like we could have helped Russell and the protection more so by getting the ball out more quickly, like we generally do. We kind of thought we were going to block these guys, and it didn't work out quite well, and we didn't adapt as fast as I wish we would have.
Was the line's problems more getting beat physically or communication?
Yes. No, it wasn't about communication. No, we did a good job with their calls. That was not an issue. Physically, we didn't, and technically, we didn't do as well as we need to.
How did Ifedi play?
Nobody played very well. Nobody played very well. We had problems.
You face stunts routinely. In any sense why Tampa Bay and the way they ran things gave you so much issue?
No. Let's go to the next question. Offensive line, we're done.
You mentioned on the radio you sort of the running game, that maybe if you'd have stuck with that longer, that might have helped.
Well, yeah, we were, Russell was really finding a lot of space in the running game, and that was part of the the read thing that we haven't really been able to do much of. So that, and I'm sure that they didn't anticipate that we would have done a lot of that, and it worked out well. We could have done more of it, and we felt like we could have gone back to it and taken the pressure off of pass pro and the way we were having our problems. That doesn't put us back on the offensive line.
How did Russell play, or given the circumstances?
He had to adapt to the pressure, and as this is in very typical fashion, he moved more. It got him off the spot more than would like, and it caused him. He missed some balls that he would like to hit. He just didn't hit it as well as he normally would. And as we adapted, we just weren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that were there. So it wasn't a good game for him, but I think it was all connected. We played poorly.
For guys like Stephen Terrell, Joey Hunt, Jordan Tripp, that kind of getting that first big playing time down the road, whether you need them this week or whenever, how valuable?
Yeah, picking those guys out. I thought that Joey did a nice job. He handled the fronts, he handled the calls, and run blocked effectively. Helped in pass protection. He was not at issue there, so he held up his end of it. I thought that Stephen Terrell played really well in the back end. He had 3 deep ball opportunities. He really ranged well and was on top of 3 good plays, and gave us the kind of play that we were counting on down the field. And Nico played fine in the nickel situations. He didn't get challenged very much. He was in the proper position. Jeremy had a real nice deep ball starting at corner. So those guys that filled in, they really did very, very much their part, and did not draw focus at all.
What changed, or did something change with the defense after those first 2 series, or?
We just got back on track, and the same plays were cut in half, distance and yardage and stuff like that, and we just did right. Made a couple of a couple adjustments in coverage that worked out fine, and I think we got back to playing like we're capable of playing, and it looked a lot better.
Does Justin Britt have a chance to get back to you this week?
Yeah, he should be back.
How likely Earl Thomas, Deshaun Shedd play?
Deshaun, I think, is a little bit ahead. We need to see from Earl ran really hard today and had a good workout. We'll have to see as we get through the week.
You said Earl ran hard today?
Yeah. and Shedd's was about that level last week. So Deshaun looks like he's ahead.
Luke Wilson, any update on him?
No update other than he had a first-degree sprain of his knee.
What is the chances that Michael Bennett will play this week?
I visited with Mike. He thinks he's on. We got to get all the clearance from the doctors. The trainers think he's in good shape and ready to go. So we're counting on him playing. He's very positive about it. He's really looking forward to getting back.
Did Thomas Rawls make it through this game maybe a little better than last week? Or?
Yeah, he did.
How did you kind of assess how he played for you?
I think it looked like not quite as dynamic a game as he might have been able to have. Got some space and got caught up in the turf a little bit, a couple of times, stumbled a little bit, but he ran hard and ran effectively. But I think he'll continue to get better. I think you could see the little bit of the wear and tear from last week.
You mentioned on the radio the idea of pre-game. You don't know when these type of games are coming. Obviously, you don't like this result.
I don't know when the good ones are coming either, no, as I promise you.
So, regardless of this specific result, do you like that idea that you've been coaching this long and it's kind of the mystery of it? Is that part of what makes it fun?
No. No, I couldn't. No, I would much rather no. If you guys know, let me know, okay? No, but it's the case. I can't tell. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. And sometimes there's been some indicators in the past when you know that you're in trouble. We had trouble a few years back at SC. I knew we were in deep trouble in a game, and during the week, guys didn't want to play the game. They wanted just the rankings to just be given to us, and we messed up a couple opportunities like that. But rarely, here our guys are so consistent about the process and all that it's hard to tell. But this was just one that jumped out.
Were Wilson's interceptions more of him forcing the ball, or what could you tell from what happened?
The last one, he chucked it. He pretty much chucked it, just took a shot at it. He was under pressure a little bit there. The other one, we could have functioned a little bit better there. He was counting on something to be a little bit different than it wound up, and we just weren't on the same page quite right. He was on time, ripped the ball, and it wasn't a force at all. It just didn't work out right. He thought the receiver was going to bend in, and he didn't do it like he had hoped.
What was Demontre Moore's issue?
He got stepped on, pretty nasty contusion that just kind of blew his foot up, so he wasn't able to make it back, and so he's still struggling with it right now. So he didn't break anything, and he didn't strain anything, but his foot really blew up last week, and we just have to wait and see if he's going to be all right this week. Has a chance.
What have you seen from Tyler Lockett, just in general? I think he had 6 targets, didn't have a catch yesterday. I think he's only got 2 games of more than 4 yards this year. How is he kind of progressing for you?
Well, we'd always like him to get, we don't want offers, he's doing fine. Tyler's getting back to he's full speed and raring to go, and we threw some, we like to go downtown to him and give him some big shots down the field. Those are always harder to hit. He's doing fine. I'm not worried about him at all.
Jermaine Kearse has had a few of the OPIs now. I mean, is there something specific he's got to get better at, or is everything?
He's got to be really strict about it. The calls are really strict there, and it's everybody knows what's going on those routes, and the officials and all that, and it's got to be really good. He was downfield just a yard farther than he can be, and making contact. You can make contact with a guy within a yard from the line of scrimmage, and that's what he has to gauge properly, and he missed it.
Is that being more strictly enforced this year?
Way more. Yeah, I think I think in the last couple of years, officials have really come to understand what's going on with that. We've really been really specific and disciplined. The officials have been about trying to gauge that 1 yard area. It's still a hard call to make. Blocks that start within the 1 yard area on some of the screens and things that extend on beyond that, really hard for them to call. So it's just a difficult call for them. They're working at it really hard. Yesterday, you noticed that they called it from up top, and they talked to the line judge to make sure that they had the right depths and stuff like that. So they're really tuned into it well, I think, and they made the right call.
How did you think Richard Sherman did when he was matched up against Evans, and I guess especially the one touch?
He didn't get matched up with him as much as because of the zones and stuff. He had the one big play, one deep ball, and Evans played it beautifully to manufacture the opening. He did a great job of making space for himself with a great throw too. Other than that, there just wasn't many plays of consequence that he really could have, because of the zone stuff that we're in. On that safety, was it Richard that really called the attention to the referees? No, our guys upstairs knew it happened, and so Richard helped confirm what was going on out there. He heard some stuff and saw what had happened, and so he reinforced what we were seeing, and so he was great about it. He knew what had happened. He had some good information, and he helped me, throwing the flag. But we had already seen it from upstairs that it was in the end zone. We just needed to see what was going on. The question wasn't about throwing the flag. For me, I was ready to challenge it. It was whether you could challenge the play, and that was what I was working with the guy on the sidelines. Leave it at that.
And also on another call with Graham's fumble, did your film review show that he made contact with the?
You couldn't see it. You couldn't see it any better. It looked like he did. He reached in while the guy's knee was clearly on the ground, but you had to almost assume, and I think that's why they couldn't change the call. There wasn't a definitive look that I saw even on the TV copies that you could really tell. It looked like most likely he did, and Jimmy thought he did, but I don't think. I think they did. What the film showed them. I think they had to do that the way they did it.
Does Troy Pope have a chance to get back this week, or is that?
He was going out to run right now. I'll find out in about a half hour when he gets off the field. He's working hard at it. He's making a really good recovery. He's shocked the trainers that he's able to bounce back as he has, and so he'll have a chance.
Will the official tell you if it's reviewable, or are you on your own?
Yeah, that's the conversation. They're good about that conversation.
Big picture, though, aside from yesterday, big picture with the 3-game lead in the division, are you where you wanted to be, and that's the bigger issue You might talk with.
No, I would never. I don't think that. No, we'd like to have a couple more wins under our belt right now that we're there to be had. It's not really a factor in anything that's going on right now. I mean, it's nice to know that there's a few games in there, but that's not a factor in what we're doing. We have to keep working to play better. We got to get ready, to play against the tough challenges and come through better, more consistently. We looked really typical up and down yesterday. That was a terrible outing for us in that regard, and we're always trying to stay on and always trying to get better as the season goes on. But it happens, and it did, and so it's a very good opportunity for us to respect what's going on and the situations, whether you're playing home or on the road. It doesn't matter about the opponent. We go out there and turn the ball over 3 times and don't convert, you're going to get yourself in deep water, and it's going to be hard. So that's what happened.
You had to use Will at defensive end and Martian inside at D-tackle a little bit yesterday. How did they handle those situations and just having to go?
It was tough on Will. It was tough on him. He got thrown in there a little bit. We just wanted him to just give us a couple plays to relieve guys, when we needed him to. And that's what he tried to do. It's a lot to ask, but he did go both ways in the NFL again. It's an amazing feat. Not many guys have ever been able to do that.
KJ got in the backfield a lot, making some plays.
I thought KJ played a great game.
His ability just to kind of diagnose things and snip those plays.
Yeah, he's really on it. He and Bobby are so good at what's going on and running our scheme and working it. And great play on the screen. And just a bunch of great plays on the reverse too. He just saw everything. Got his hand on a ball. I mean, he just played really, really well. And those two guys, they're not varying very much in their play. They're just playing really well each week, and sometimes they get better opportunities than the others. But I thought KJ really stood out and did a great job.
Is the plan still to activate Mike Morgan from injured reserve?
Mike will be back. Yeah, we're really fired up about that. It's been a long haul for Mike waiting. Like I've said, he's been in good shape for some time now, so he's ready to go. It'd be great to get him back out there.
Will he go right back into the starting lineup?
Let's see what the week shows us. See how he does. I don't know.
Will Reese Adiambo get a look for some more playing time at tackle?
He's shown us that he's worthy of that. Sure, yeah, that is part of the plan. That he will play more tackle as well as playing guard, which is awesome. That a young guy is able to give us that versatility.
Anything else? Thank you.